Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Pint of No Return Show, Season 3, Episode 6, A New Hope. I'd rather have lager than life. I'll take a strong stout over strife. I prefer to confer with a half pint of ale and live a long life till my private parts fail. For life without liquor is to no avail. So bring me lager for life. All right, it's live.
Hey.
As you may have noticed, we are a man down this evening. But it's not just any man, it's the man. Our broadcast booth man, Keith, has decided to absolutely bail on us. Maybe he's watching now. Maybe, I don't know. He has a cold.
That's what he said.
That's what he says, and he's not able to join us. So we quickly piece together how in the world he does a recording. So unfortunately, we're not coming to the folks on Alpha Geek live this evening. We're just recording our normal Google Hangout, which will go up on the YouTubes, and Jeremy will get for iTunes shortly thereafter. But this is a first, guys. We're doing this without Keith. I think we're actually proving that it can be done.
Well, we're proving that something can be done.
That's right.
I don't know if it's actual show or not yet.
That's right. It's that American stick-to-itiveness. As we know,
like that.
As you may know, Keith is not an American. He was not born in this country. And as we all know, if you're not born in this country, even though if you're a child of an American citizen, doesn't matter.
Automatic suspect.
Keith was born in... Huh?
Where is he born?
Thailand.
Nice.
He was born in Thailand, yeah, on a military base.
Yeah.
So he's a traitor to our country and to this podcast. But we'll
I think
forge
that's
on
about
without him.
What are we going to do without him?
We're going to forge on without him.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do this evening is a BYOB show. That's right. The boys and I have brought beers from our respective fridges that are not on our catalog of beers to do for the show. And so we have 3 different beers. Each of us will quaff this evening and enjoy each other's company, such as it were. So let's find out what we've got on tap. Jeremy, what is your beer for the evening?
My beer is Raspberry Trail Ale from Marin Brewing Company. Not a beer I would probably pick, but I decided to just try something totally different tonight. It's a low alcohol, 5% raspberry ale.
Whoa. Okay. Gary, what is your beer of choice?
I have the Stingray IPA from Coronado Brewing down in San Diego area. It is an Imperial IPA that I have not had before. I've had a few of their beers, but this was a new one, so figured I would give it a try.
All right. And my beer tonight also is local for me. It's out of Katy, Texas, which is just to the left of Houston, or the west of Houston, as it were. And it's from the No Label Brewing Company. That's right, that's their name, the No Label Brewing Company. And I'm doing El Jefe Weizen, a little Hefeweizen. So mine's got the particulate matter on the bottom of the bottle. It's kind of got to be mixed in a little bit there. And boys, I don't know, it just feels like... do you remember like when you'd have like a substitute teacher in class, and the teacher told you that that your teacher wasn't coming back for a month, and you have a big test to get ready for? I kind of have those little nerves that how are we going to carry on without Keith?
You know what's going to soothe your nerves?
What's that?
El Hefeweizen.
Hey!
El Hefeweizen. Oh, are we drinking? You know what? It's like those TV shows where they have like a major cast member leave and they try to replace them with someone else.
That's right.
And it's just like not quite the same.
It's like when Richie left Happy Days.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, yeah. Let me ask that question. What show, while we're pouring our beers and waiting for the heads to go down, what show took the biggest dive after losing a major character?
Gosh, the one with Charlie Sheen.
Oh, 2.5 Men?
Yeah, that's all. It's not even around anymore.
That was a pretty big one.
That was a pretty big dump. Let's see. MASH changed out the Colonel, right? But that didn't take a dive. That
yeah, it stayed pretty good. Some people say it got better.
Woody came into Cheers, and that actually probably helped out with that one.
Yeah. Did you have Richie? Like I said, Richie leaving Happy Days. That was pretty big.
He was Happy Days. How can you even
well, Fonz. The Fonz stayed.
Fonz was
still
pretty important part of Happy Days.
Denise leaving the Cosby Show. I shouldn't invoke the name of Bill Cosby on this show. How about speaking of recent shows? How about David Duchovny back in the '90s when he left the X-Files?
Yeah, that's.
Some people say the show took a huge dive.
Well, it went off the air for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. All right, you guys ready for some beer?
The dive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the guys have been saying they had a little bit of a rough day, so I'm sure this beer is a welcome sight. So, to all of you out there, I say Prost.
Cheers. Oh. Man, that hits the spot.
All right. Well, how about we'll go back in the same order. Jeremy, how was your raspberry ale?
It smells like raspberries, which is the best thing I can say about it. Unfortunately, it's you can see the color. It is a light straw color.
Wow, it's like a wheat beer.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the color of a wheat beer, but absolutely no cloudiness, no character. It's super light. It's
kind of like a Budweiser.
Not much body. Well, it doesn't taste bad though. It's fine. It would be a really hot day. If this was very cold, it would be refreshing. I don't know. It's super light. It needs a little more body. It needs, I don't know. Not my favorite. I'm gonna give.
Did he just drop right before he gave his rating?
He dropped. He said, "I'm gonna get," and that was it.
We didn't hear the number.
Oh, 5 out of 10.
5 of 5.
Okay. That's right there.
What does a beer get just coming out of the brewery? A craft brew, or even a mainstream brew coming out of a brewery. I mean, what's your baseline? Just the fact that they produced a beer gives it what, a 4?
A 1.
A 5? Oh, it starts off as a 1.
Well, yeah. Just because you produced a beer doesn't mean it's anything worth drinking.
That's true. Who is it? Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah.
Produces beer.
Yeah, but I mean, so there's really nowhere to go down for a beer if it starts off as a 1. See, to me, a beer starts off as a 5. It's the fact you produced a beer, you put it out there, you marketed it, it was marketed well enough that I saw it and I bought it. Now I have to grade you. You start off with a 5, are you going to go up or are you going to go down?
I don't know. I kind of look at it like grades in school. You start off at the beginning of your term of school with 0 points, right? And you just have to work until you get up to whatever your grade is at the end of the semester or quarter, right? If you did nothing that whole quarter or semester, you would have, an F, a failing grade.
That's true.
So there's a lot of beers that come off the production line that just do nothing. And I don't know. To me, marketing isn't that important. So, I understand what you're saying. They could, I guess.
Well, I guess marketing is not really important to you because you actually go and seek out beer.
Yeah. It's all. I don't choose beer by the label. If I did, I'm not sure I would have picked a Coronado. I mean, it's not a bad label, but it's not very exciting. It's just
Speaking of, how is the Stingray?
The Stingray is really good. It's actually they say it's an Imperial IPA, but it's 7.9%, which to me is kind of, I don't know. It seems like to me you got to clock over that 8% to really get into the Imperial range because there's a lot of regular just single IPAs that are in the 7 range. So they're not really adding that whole percent. But that being said, it's very light. It's very refreshing. It's got this, kind of the more earthy grainy smelling hops as opposed to the florally, citrusy smelling hops. I would say the nose is actually really, really good. Um, and it goes down really easy and smooth. It's a really good IPA that doesn't hit you over the head for an Imperial IPA. Some of the Imperials are just like an assault on your taste buds. I'm sure Rob could agree with that over some of the beers we've had.
I have had
But
those on occasion.
yeah, for me, this isn't that. It's really good. I don't know if this is a full-time production beer of theirs or if it's just kind of a special one-off. Like I said, I'd never seen it before, but it's really good. I would highly recommend it, especially if you want something that does have a nice alcohol bump at 7.9%, but that isn't one of those really heavy tasting or heavy feeling beers. I have a feeling that if you had a lot of these, it could be dangerous because you wouldn't necessarily feel like you were drinking a high alcohol beer.
Mm-hmm.
But it's 7.9%. It's fairly high. So I'm going to give this an 8 because I most certainly would buy this again and would recommend it to friends.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, I have the El Jefe, and it's marketed as a traditional German-style Hefeweizen. It's described as crisp and refreshing with strong notes of banana, cloves, and citrus. And I'm going to agree with 2 out of the 3. I definitely taste the banana, and there is a really nice citrusy, maybe an apple, crisp apple. That's not citrus, I know. There's an apple taste to it, but also a bit of lemon, orangey zest type, almost like a Blue Moon, without the coriander. The cloves, I don't get at all, and that's actually a good thing because I'm really not a big fan of cloves. But for the parts that I do get, it's really nice, it's very crisp, really good Hefeweizen. I really like the banana part of it, which I didn't know if I would or not. We've had banana flavored beers on the show before. That banana bread beer that Keith and I had years ago is one of my favorites that we've ever done on the show. I know. Anyway, El Hefeweizen, it's not sweet by any means. It's just really crisp and good. There's a tiny bit of sweetness to it, but not much. I'll give this a 7. It's very, very good and tasty. I definitely would have it again.
Sounds good. I like the traditional Hefeweizen that has kind of a banana-y, florally, clovey kind of thing.
Do most Hefeweizens have banana taste to it?
Maybe
I just don't remember.
If they're made with German Hefeweizen yeast, they will. The yeast gives it that. The yeast produces esters that give you that banana, clove, bubblegum thing. If it's an American-style Hefeweizen, you won't because it's a different kind of yeast.
Right. Well, then it's definitely producing with the German yeast because it's got that banana. Unless they put it in artificially, which I can't imagine they would do. But anyway, so yeah, good beers. We'll be sipping on those the rest of the show. As we're coming up with our topics for the evening, we were racking our brains for something we could use to fill the time, fill the silence. It's almost like a failing marriage. I need something to fill the silence. And we came up with, there's a semi-large event happening pretty close to 2 of our podcasters this weekend. I'm talking about Jeremy and Gary and Super Bowl L. Super Bowl 50, San Francisco, right in their backyards, literally.
Well, they call it San Francisco, but it's actually in Santa Clara, so it's not that close to our backyard, although it is in the same time zone.
Yeah, it is. It's the it's on the same block, but everybody's stomping through our yard to get to it and just leaving a mess.
How is it just chaos there right now?
It's getting more and more crowded as the week goes on. Definitely, you can tell there are a lot more people in that general area around the financial district, and a lot of 49ers jerseys and sportswear floating around. Which I kind of feel bad because I think they don't realize that the 49ers aren't playing.
Yeah, I think that's left
this weekend. So I feel kind of bad. I don't want to tell them.
They want all the visitors to remember that this is a 49er town.
I guess. It's not hard to notice that.
They want to know who the competition isn't.
So we had the Super Bowl, Houston did, I should say, back in maybe 2008, 2009. And so I was here by that point, but I don't really remember much about it because where I work downtown isn't really near NRG Stadium, so I didn't have to deal with all of that crap. But I can only imagine when literally you have one of the most watched events of the entire year. Super Bowl is consistently watched by what, over 1 billion people
Yeah.
around the world. That's just extremely insane and chaotic, and I can't. We actually are hosting. I think we're hosting the Super. I think we're hosting next year.
Ooh, fun.
Did you
I think we're hosting. Yeah, I believe so.
Cool.
That's
So
right.
what-
We are because at the opera they told us that we're actually going dark for a large portion of January, which is normally our rehearsal month for shows that we're doing, but we're going dark for most of that month because our theater space is being rented out for press conferences and special events and things like that. So,
Yeah.
You
I've
guys
seen
doing the
some,
halftime show, right?
huh?
you're
You guys
doing the
are gonna do
halftime show.
show?
I'm in negotiations for it.
Awesome.
I haven't been signed yet. They need to step up and meet my price.
I just want to let you know that PNR show will give you a free sticker to wear, maybe.
Yeah, but okay. So before I will
We got to
definitely,
get stickers first.
I definitely will wear some PNR garb if I am signed to do the halftime show. So speaking of, before we even talk about the game, let's talk about the entertainment.
Coldplay.
Coldplay
Yay.
is doing the halftime show along with a little Beyonce
I
and a
was
little
going to say it
Bruno
could be
Mars.
worse, and you proved correct.
Yeah, so I have long railed against the NFL and who they get for these halftime shows. Tom Petty.
Bruno Mars was good.
Now, I was about to say last year, I think was the exception, one of the exceptions of the rule to recent memory. Bruno Mars, that show last year was actually really good.
I don't even like Bruno Mars, but that was entertaining.
But when you think Super Bowl halftime show, what emotions, what moods come to mind? What are you looking for in a Super Bowl halftime show?
Boredom.
No.
But yeah,
You want excitement. You want fun. You want a rockin' good time. And what says fun, rockin' good time more than Coldplay?
Yeah, I kind of get where you're going.
not a lot of.
No,
energy there.
I love Coldplay. I'm a big fan of Coldplay. I have several Coldplay albums. I listen to them often.
But maybe not the giant stadium super energy.
Yeah,
Super Bowl
maybe
show.
not the halftime show.
Although you throw some fireworks on there.
Yeah, we'll throw some fireworks in there. We'll throw the obligatory 5,000 or 6,000 kids waving, flags and parachutes in the air.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Wardrobe malfunctions. But we also have, in addition to those three lovely artists, we have Lady Gaga singing the national anthem, right?
That could either be really good or really bad. It's not going to be. Oh, that was okay. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be.
They may have to employ the longest delay in the history of television. Who knows what she is going to do?
Well, I'd be interested to see what she's going to wear more than what she's going to do.
She's going to wear the meat dress.
Nah, she's not going to wear the meat dress.
Oh.
Yeah, Coldplay. I'm with you, Rob. I like Coldplay.
I do too. Yeah, they're great.
Not the new album is kind of leaves me just blah. I listened to it and then kind of forgot about it, and then I realized I got an email saying that their concert tickets are going on sale, and I said, "Oh, that's nice." They're actually playing at Levi's Stadium, which is where the Super Bowl is, so they're going to get used to that. But I had absolutely no desire to spend a lot of money to go to Levi's Stadium to see them in concert.
Right.
I don't know. A few years ago, I might have, but now I'm like, whatever. Yeah, this year the halftime, most halftime shows to me are the thing that gets your spouse to sit down and watch the game a little, or to watch the TV during that time. Because I don't know if your wife Rob is guilty, but no interest in the Super Bowl. The Puppy Bowl has become kind of a cute thing. But the halftime show they will watch, and my kids and stuff, That's really what the halftime show to me is about: is getting the people who hate to be somewhat sexist, usually women or your female children, could care less about the Super Bowl. I'm not even sure Gillian knows who's in the Super Bowl, but she might sit down and watch the halftime show depending on who's there.
So what was the greatest halftime show that you remember?
The best halftime shows are the ones where I don't have to feel bad about walking away from the TV to go to the bathroom because I drank so much beer during the
No, but I mean, what artist?
I can't remember them all, but I distinctly remember watching the Rolling Stones and going, yeah. Who else has done them? The Janet Jackson thing with the wardrobe. That was just afterwards. That was interesting. Rob, the top of your head looks awesome, by the way. The last year's was pretty good, and actually, I think Prince did a pretty good job when he did it a couple years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, they're mostly blah to me.
Do you just want to hear some of the original Super Bowl halftime shows? Like we've thought, it's been in my mind that Super Bowl halftime shows always been the biggest stars on the biggest stage.
No, that's only been in like the last 10 or 15 years.
So yeah, Super Bowl I was the University of Arizona Symphonic Marching Band and Grambling State University Marching Band, the Anaheim High School Drill Team, and Flag Girls.
Sweet. That actually might be better than Coldplay.
Grambling State University Marching Band did Super Bowl II. Florida A&M and Miami area high school bands did Super Bowl III. Super Bowl IV, you had Carol Channing and the Southern Methodist University Marching Band. Then you have a bunch of marching bands. Up With People did a bunch of shows. Super Bowl VI, you had Ella Fitzgerald and Carol Channing, which, I don't know, Carol Channing is somehow a huge Super Bowl draw.
Ella Fitzgerald, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, looking now, thinking Ella Fitzgerald, that's a good halftime.
I'm skipping ahead. There's mostly marching bands, but it's Super Bowl VIII, 1974, the University of Texas Longhorn Band, and Judy Mallett, who was Miss Texas 1973 on the fiddle.
You know what's interesting? Looking through this list, there was a theme for the Super Bowl. Or the Super Bowl halftime show, all the way up until about 2005, and the themes just kind of disappear.
So let's see: Up With People, Southern Miss, Up With People, Los Angeles Super Drill Team, marching bands, Up With People. How about this? Super Bowl 21, 1987. Now that seems pretty recent. I mean, it is 30 years ago, but that's, you would think by the late 80s we've gotten into an entertaining rockin' Super Bowl halftime show. No. George Burns, Mickey Rooney, the Grambling State University, and USC marching bands.
I actually think that they should go back to that kind of stuff because, to me, the Super Bowl halftime has become way too much of an event. It should be about the game, and to me it's just a whole lot of excess BS that takes away from the game.
Yeah.
I would rather them go back to something really basic and just,
Let's see. Nobody. Okay, so now here we go. Super Bowl 25. This may be the first time we get popular pop stuff on a Super Bowl halftime show. 1991, New Kids on the Block.
Oh my God.
Warren Moon. Well, but for then that was pretty.
I think I actually remember that.
And you had the following year, you had Gloria Estefan and Olympic figure skaters Brian Boitano and Dorothy Hamill. Okay, all right, so here we go. 1993, Super Bowl 27, Michael Jackson. That one I remember.
That's when you really.
That's when we started kicking it. Then '94 was Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, and the Judds, and that made sense because it was in Georgia. Then the following year was Patti LaBelle, Teddy Pendergrass, Tony Bennett. Then we go to Diana Ross at Super Bowl 30. The Blues Brothers. Remember that, the Blues Brothers and ZZ Top? I remember that. Boys to Men. And it goes on and on. Okay, so let's go to the 2000s. We had U2, Shania Twain, and Sting. And then we have Super Bowl 38, 2004, Janet Jackson, P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and Mr. Wardrobe Malfunction himself, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
By the way, is anyone fooled that that was not on purpose?
No, that was so dumb. The whole stink about it was so stupid.
That was completely on purpose. By the way, that one was
nobody had ever seen a boob before.
That one was in Houston, Texas, actually. That was 2004. Then in 39 was Paul McCartney. Then we had the Rolling Stones in Super Bowl 40.
That was a bad one. I remember Paul McCartney.
41 was Prince. 42 was Tom Petty. 43 was Bruce Springsteen. Now we're in the 2010s. But somehow we still go back to the ancient bands. 44 was The Who. Then we got modernized in 45 with Black Eyed Peas, Usher, and Slash. 46 was Madonna, LMFAO, CeeLo Green, and a bunch of other people. 47, Beyonce, Destiny's Child. That was in New Orleans. Bruno Mars, Red Hot Chili Peppers was 48. And then last year, of course, we had Katy Perry with Left Shark. Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott. Yeah, so I thought Bruno Mars for some reason was in my head as last year, but it was 2 years ago. But Katy Perry's was pretty good.
I now that you mentioned Katy Perry, I'd totally forgotten about her, which I guess her PR machine needs to get back on the game. But yeah, that wasn't too.
But Katy Perry's at least a fun pop star.
Yeah.
And Lenny Kravitz will be fun, Missy Elliott, but like Coldplay. I mean, Beyonce's fun and always great to look at.
Yeah, but come on.
So anyway, there's the halftime show. Let's talk about the actual game. So what you got here are the Carolina Panthers and the juggernaut that is becoming Cam Newton against the Denver Broncos and what everyone believes is going to be Peyton Manning's last game.
Well, that'd be a nice thing.
First of all, do you think it's his last game? First of all,
yeah, he's done.
I think I can't think of a better way to go out, even if you lose.
Yeah, yeah, he's done.
Especially if he wins, he's done.
Yeah, but he's not going to be anything. He's had his glory days.
So
Right. And you're right. If you're going out, the way to go out is your last game's the Super Bowl.
Sure. So Jeremy, you said Panthers by 7.
Panthers by 7 is my pick.
All right, Gary, what do you think?
I really, really hope that the Panthers implode and the Broncos walk all over them. I'm not sure that's going to happen because the Broncos. I'm not sure the Broncos defense can keep up with the Panthers offense, but I was rooting for the Panthers to beat Arizona, and I watched that game, and Cam Newton just annoyed me to no end, and his arrogance and cockiness over simple things is just too much for me. And the contrast of him and Peyton Manning, I think, is a really makes for a really interesting Super Bowl. Everything else aside, just looking at those two quarterbacks and how they present themselves, totally opposites in my book. I really hope that Peyton Manning goes out on top and just shows Cam Newton what grace and elegance looks like in sports, and not this super cocky, arrogant attitude that Cam Newton has right now. He's young. He's very talented. I think Jeremy's probably right that Carolina wins this game, but I really hope they don't.
So, I mean, I come at Cam Newton a different way. I get where people are saying he looks cocky and he looks arrogant, but I've tried to keep a positive mind about it, and in some ways, to me, it just looks like he loves what he does. Like, he really enjoys playing football, and he gets excited and over-exuberant, and he does really good stuff with the community. We have friends that live in Charlotte, and I mean, they say that basically, of course, Cam Newton owns that town, but he's incredibly involved in the community, and seems to be a really good ambassador for the game, at least there. So I mean, I could pull for both teams. Either team wins, I'm happy about it because I think Carolina's a good team. I would love to see Peyton Manning win on his last game. That would just be amazing and a great storybook ending to an incredible career. And
Yeah.
I think, obviously, if the Broncos win the game, it's not going to be because of Peyton Manning, although who knows? He could put it all out on the line. If he knows it's his last game, he could give everything he has because there is no tomorrow after that game, and
Yeah.
that's the game of his life. Who knows? But the Broncos defense shut down probably the best offense in the league in the New England Patriots. Maybe Carolina, New England are 1-2, flip and flop, but they
Yeah.
still shut down New England. They were amazing. So it's possible that their defense takes the stage and has a really good, awesome game, and maybe Cam Newton and the other boys, it's their first Super Bowl. They're a little off their game. I think it's possible. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say the Broncos will win this game by 4 points. It's a close game.
Wow. Okay.
A low-scoring, close game, maybe 24-20.
You think this would be low scoring after what the Panthers have done in the playoffs so far?
Yeah, because I think the Broncos defense is just that good.
Okay.
They kept the Patriots to what? 18 points, 19 points? That's amazing.
Well, that's only because Tom Brady had footballs that were inflated to the right pressure.
And of course, we're going to have some awesome commercials, which actually next week, let's make that one of our topics right now. Next week, we'll talk about the commercials.
2 weeks.
Or 2 weeks, because I don't think we're broadcasting next week. But anyway, 2 weeks, we'll give a quick talk about the commercials. But now, we're going to go on to our half pint segments. We're going to round up the show with some picks. The boys maybe have 1 or 2 picks that they're going to regale us with. And Jeremy, go ahead and hit us with your 2 half pint picks for the week.
My 2 picks are, number 1, a program called OpenEMU, which is a video game emulator for OS X. The cool thing about this is that it's kind of a modular approach where they have multiple cores that work with this emulator. So it will emulate any Atari, old Atari system, ColecoVision, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Intellivision, Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Odysseys, arcade games, Sega, all kinds of video game systems. It really works well.
But not for Windows.
Windows has a bunch of other ones. Windows has quite a few emulators already. This project is the first that really works well for Mac users.
Okay.
So OpenEMU is my first choice, and my second choice is an app for iOS called Prime, Prime. It's a photo processing app. I've been using it more and more lately. The presets are pretty cool. They're made by photographers, so you kind of get their styles, and it also has a lot of adjustments you can make on your own too. I'm enjoying it. Prime.
Cool. Okay, Gary.
I might have 3 picks.
Whoa! Crazy.
Well, maybe I'll say 1. Let's see how much. Let's check the time, and then we'll see. I actually didn't check the time when we started, so we're probably a little behind. So whatever. Okay, we got lots of time. Lots of time, and I still got like a half a glass of beer. It was a big bottle.
There you go.
So my first pick is, well, for now, I'm picking these headphones I picked up. These are Plantronics Backbeat Pro Bluetooth headphones, and I got these because I had bought another pair of headphones that I wore and used on a trip back to Baltimore a couple weeks ago, and wore them on the plane, and they were the most uncomfortable things I had ever worn on my ears. And my ears actually it took me like 2 days for my ears to recover from the way those fit on there. So I sent this back to Amazon and got these. And these are cool because I can pair them with my MacBook at work and my phone, and it pairs with them both at the same time. So I can listen to music on my computer, and then if I get a phone call, it automatically picks up on the headphones, and I can answer the phone. And the mic on this is actually really good. I read the reviews, and the mic was one of the things that people talked about being really good, and I was looking for that. It's so good, in fact, that I can't use them where I work if other people are having conversations, because there were a group of like 3 or 4 people about 8 to 10 feet away from me talking while I was on the phone using these headphones, and it was too much noise. The mic was picking that up. Um, so they're pretty cool. When you put them on, it'll start your music. When you take them off, it'll automatically pause your music. That's a little flaky now and then, but they work really well. So they're Bluetooth headphones. They're a little pricey. I think on Amazon they're around $170. But since I listen to music and have headphones on all day, and where my desk is at work is very close to our lab, so there's a lot of noise coming out of that, and these have noise canceling setup, so I can just put those on, turn noise canceling on, and not have anything, and it just reduces the amount of noise that's coming into my ears, so I can kind of focus.
Cool.
So just for that alone, the noise canceling isn't as good as other headphones. I mean, if you really, really want good noise canceling, these aren't the best, but it does work. The noise canceling does step on the music pretty hard. I noticed that I did like A/B comparisons on songs I was really familiar with, and the noise canceling is pretty harsh. But if you want just like kind of ambient music on in the background and flip the noise canceling on, and you're not too concerned, they'll work well. So that's my first pick. And they have all their controls are on the ear things. They have these little dials that you can't see to turn the volume up or to skip or go backwards and things like that, or answer a phone call is on one ear. These are actually buttons, so you don't actually have to like touch your computer or phone to answer calls or skip music or do those kinds of things.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Have I talked enough, or do you want to?
No, you're good. Keep going. Go ahead. That was only one pick, right?
Yeah, catch your breath. So now I'll do 2 quick picks. Hold on, catch your breath, take a drink. Okay, so my pick 1A is probably stealing what Keith would have picked.
Hearthstone?
No, it's not Hearthstone, but it is an iOS game, and there's a couple of these out. It's Lifeline, and I know Keith has been playing it, and Polly's been playing it. It's essentially a choose-your-own-adventure game as an iOS game. So it's a story, and you have options to choose what the main character is doing at certain points. And the paths, I think, are fairly linear. You'll always kind of wind up at the same places, I think. But they're really entertaining and engaging. The first Lifeline, I think, is free, or at least I got it free. And then the second one I picked up was the Lifeline Silent Night. It was 99 cents, so I just bought it. I have killed off the main character, which is Taylor. I think I killed him off. He, she, we're not sure if it's a boy or a girl. Once in the first one, and then I killed him off, I think twice in the second one before I finally got through to the end. But it's entertaining. My 13-year-old daughter has picked it up and started going through it. So it's not a game to keep you engaged constantly because it is sort of real time. So when Taylor sleeps, you kind of have to wait several hours before Taylor wakes up again. So it's pretty cool. It's worth picking up. If it's $1, get it because it'll keep you engaged, worth the dollar's worth. Okay, my last pick, real quick, is Supergirl, the TV show. I haven't watched a lot of it, but my, again, 13-year-old daughter has been watching the Supergirl series. It started, I guess, was it at the beginning in the fall season? I don't know when it picked it up, but she's been catching up on the DVR, and she's been enjoying it. It's a nice girl superhero in a universe that is fairly testosterone dominated. So it's good. I kind of don't like they call her Supergirl because she actually, is a woman and is an adult. But that's, a historical name. But it's an entertaining show. It's done fairly well. The production value is pretty good, and the person they have playing Supergirl is doing a good job. I've watched pieces of episodes and have been entertained and engaged while I was watching them. And she has been keeping up with it and is enjoying it. So I'll pick that, especially if you have females who like comics, sci-fi, or superheroes.
Okay.
Cool. Rob.
Is that it?
Oh, now I really need a drink.
All right, I'll do. I have 3 quick picks as well. One is a revisitation of one that I had back in, I think, season 2. Man in the High Castle, which is a series on Amazon Prime. Actually, we just picked up a subscription to Amazon Prime as we are in the process of cord cutting. So I watched way back when I watched the first episode because it was on Amazon for free, but didn't finish the series obviously because at that point we didn't have an Amazon Prime account. Got one a couple weeks ago. I just finished the last of the 10 episodes of the first season today, and I'm here to tell you it is a great show. I'm really enjoying it. For those of you who don't know, it's based on a Philip K. Dick novel who wrote the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? That's the Blade Runner book, and he's wrote a lot of science fiction over the years. This one is an alternate history show that supposes that Germany and Japan actually won World War II. And they have since taken over the USA and split it up into the East Coast run by the Nazis and the Pacific States of America, which is west of the Rockies, which are administered by the Japanese. And there is an underground resistance that is secretly trying to deliver these films to a man in the high castle. That's his name. No one knows who he is. But they're films that show something interesting about the war that no one knew. I won't say anything else about it. If you've read the book already, you're pretty good. You're pretty safe in watching the series because they've diverged enough from the book that it's pretty much a new story, just loosely based on that original book. But it's well acted. It's very stylized and very well done. It takes place in the early 1960s. And all the little touches that they give to the culture so that you see how the Nazi influence on the United States and the Japanese influence on the United States is really, really well done. So go ahead and give Man High Castle a try. It's really good. I've got an iOS app that I've been playing a lot of lately. It's called Freeblade. Those of you who are board gamers out there or war gamers out there know of the Warhammer universe. And this game is basically how's the best to describe it? If you know of shoot, what are the big robots called? Huh, damn it.
Transformers?
No. God, it's Keith's favorite. Oh my God. Anyway.
C-3POs.
No.
Not Transformers.
These gigantic robots that are piloted by humans, and you get mech warriors. It's basically that kind of thing, and it's a pretty simple game. It's like a point and shoot and click and do damage to little orcs running around, but also big, huge robots and get in fights and stuff. It's free. There's obviously stuff that you can purchase in the app, but if you just play the daily challenges and stuff, it's a very well executed game. It's a lot of fun. So I've been playing a lot of Freeblade lately. And my last one is the Roku. As I mentioned before, my wife and I are doing the cord cutting. So part of that cord cutting is we've gotten Rokus for the TVs that are in the house that aren't smart TVs. And we've gotten the Amazon Prime subscription and Hulu and all that kind of stuff as we get ready to cut the cord. And I really just want to sing the praises of Roku. I know it's been around for a while, and Keith talked about it a lot. But for a non-techie guy, as I get into this stuff, it's really cool what Roku is able to offer. I was disturbed today to hear that Time Warner may buy a 25% stake in Hulu in order to try to prevent new episodes of shows from being shown on that platform. They've said that it's not a condition of their buying 25%, but very few people doubt that they'll eventually try to wangle that through so it doesn't impact their cable companies. Because as more and more people cut the cord, more and more people are leaving Time Warner. So they want new episodes to be cut out of that. So potential wrench being thrown in the cord cutting thing. I'm hoping that Hulu and its supporters can band together to realize that the reason that they're trying to buy you is because they're afraid of you and because you're controlling the market more than they are.
Yeah. I'll second the Roku thing. I have two Rokus in my house. A very old one that Gilly and I put up in our bedroom that doesn't actually work with Hulu because it's so old. We need to get a new one. But the one in the living
They're
room
so
does work.
cheap.
I know. I'm
A
just gonna.
baseline model for $40 that gets you all the apps. It's really, really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you know what? My dad could use the Roku, and my dad was the if I'm the curmudgeon, he was the technophobe.
I mean, the Roku is so easy. We were trying to show my in-laws who were
It
over at the
really is
house
remarkably
on the
easy.
weekend, and my brother and sister-in-law as well, and we're trying to show them, like, literally, you never have to leave the home screen of a Roku. If you just go to the search, you can type a search for an actor or a movie or a TV show, and it'll show you what app it's on, and you just press the app, and it'll take you to that show. You don't have to hunt through individual apps if you don't want to, but you can. But it's so easy to use. Oh, it's great. I love it.
And apparently, I got an email from Roku since I've had a Roku for, I don't know, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think the one in our bedroom might be the original Roku. The CBS app apparently is streaming the Super Bowl via the Roku for free.
Oh, wow.
I kind of find that hard to believe, but that's what they're saying. So I'm going to check it out and see if it actually works and if we can do that. But yeah, Roku is a great thing. Unless you're totally into the Apple ecosystem, because you can't do the iTunes stuff.
Yeah, no, we haven't done the full cord cut yet. We still have a satellite in the house. I'm putting together a digital antenna to put on the house so we can get the over-the-air broadcast networks and stuff. So we haven't fully cut the cord yet. But my wife and I are discovering, as we're going through and setting up our favorites lists and all the kind of shows we want to watch, just how many shows are available that we could watch now, either ones that we've missed out on over the years, or brand new ones that are on anyway that you could watch while everything else. I mean, as long as you stay current, usually in Hulu it's like 5 episodes or 3 episodes and then they fall off.
Yeah.
As long as you stay current, you're fine. It just highlights for us all the more how crap satellite and cable is, and how literally we would sit there on a Saturday and just thumb through channels like mindlessly when you could be watching shows that you want, and God forbid getting up and doing something else. We found ourselves actually doing more stuff over the weekend, just getting up and doing stuff because we'd watch shows that we wanted. Okay, we're done. Now we'll go do something. And I think it's going to be really, really good. I can't wait.
Wait, you had to get up from in front of the TV?
Yeah.
And like socialize and.
Well, I mean, part of it's the fact that my wife and I are on a weight loss kick right now too, so we're trying to be more active. But also, you
look slimmer.
Thank you. But also, you just realize how much time you wasted, not only flipping through channels, but watching shows that you really have no interest in.
Just because it's there.
Just because it's on.
Yeah.
Rob, did you have a pick of Mr. Robot in the past?
I didn't know, but that's one I'm going to try because I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, when I went to Maryland, the what airline was it? Delta. They had as part of their, on the little TV on the back of the seat. On my way out to Maryland, they had all these. It was really cool. They had all this stuff, and Mr. Robot was free. That's a good one. It's not available streaming yet, but I watched like 4 episodes on the plane. It was really good.
Well, it won the Golden Globe for best dramatic series. If you can believe all the great shows, all the great dramas that are on TV and streaming nowadays, and that's the one that won.
I don't know, Jeremy, you probably haven't heard of it, but it's a show about a guy who works at have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, good.
They proved him right.
It's a show about a guy who works for a security firm, like they do like firewalls and stuff for companies.
And that's Christian Slater, right?
No, that's not Christian Slater. He's in that show, and but he's also a hacker, he moonlights as a hacker and does, hacker stuff. But to me, and I'm not super like technical and hacker kind of person, but I have a fair amount of understanding of programming and computers. This is the show that does the best job of portraying that type of environment and what hackers would actually have to do. compared to any other thing I've seen. Because I've seen all these different things like Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, great movies, very entertaining, but all of a sudden it's like she has magical powers when it comes to computers, and they kind of leave it. They don't really talk about what she does. But this show, they actually kind of do a little enough to where you're like, okay, that's somewhat credible. So it's pretty good. And then Christian Slater is kind of the ringleader of this, kind of like an anonymous type of network. But I watched 4 episodes and
so it's not really about robots; it's about hackers.
Yeah, Mr. Robot is Christian Slater. He has this patch or something that says Mr. Robot. So it's about this guy who works at this security firm who gets connected with this group that is kind of analogous to the anonymous organization that is not an organization out there.
Yeah.
So, but it's good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying it. Cool.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, so that is going to bring us to a close to Season 3, Episode 6 of the Pint of No Return show. And if I didn't say it before, there are many ways you can find us. You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on, obviously, this Google Hangout, which you're watching right now. And we're usually, when Keith is around, live on Alpha Geek Radio on Thursday nights when we record. So look for us there. And they're on the Twitters. Gary's at Always Breaking, Jeremy at Jeremy Brooks, Keith at Wolfman K, and I am at RebRob, R-E-B-R-O-B. Gentlemen, any closing thoughts?
Eat a good meal before you start drinking beers.
Are you telling us because by example?
I had lunch like 7 hours ago. So
so you're feeling no pain. Jeremy, how about you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm tired.
Wow.
Yeah, drink more beer.
There you
Drink
go.
more beer. Be more happy.
I'm gonna say that you should never, ever, ever play leapfrog with a unicorn. That's all I'm gonna say. You just shouldn't do it.
It's so wrong.
It's a bad idea, right? Exactly. You shouldn't do it. It's completely. It's not healthy. You're gonna hurt yourself. So that for all of us here at the PNR show, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye bye now.
Bye.